is Saturday night at 7 p.m. So that means it is time for a video. Let's just be sure that I am actually transmitilating. It does say I am waiting for me to come on, but it looks like I'm now live, so that's a very good sign. I hope you guys are having a good Easter weekend. Hello, Marva. How are you tonight? Hi, Kathy. We have been rained on all day long. I mean, like straight up all day long. Started sometime in the night and it has just been going steady ever since. Went from 80 yesterday to 45 today. That is too big a jump. My goodness. Hey, Beverly. Hi, Faith. Hi, Deb. Rosie. Lorraine. Everybody. I appreciate you guys coming on. I hope this means that you are all ready for your Easter festivities tomorrow. We've got the ham in the fridge. We'll put it on the smoker in the morning. And I'll devil some eggs and scallop potatoes, and then we'll head over tomorrow afternoon to our friend's place. Hey, Debbie. Hey, Sarah. I think you're going to like this one. This is one of my favorites. The paper is absolutely stunning. This is the, well, where did I put the paper? Hang on a second. It's right here. Here we go. This is the Countryside Inn Suite. And it is cornerstoned by the Countryside Corners. It's anchored, I guess is the word I meant. Countryside Corners is the bundle, and it is a single stamp that you get that stamps all of those images at once, and then you can cut them at will. All right, and that's kind of what I've done here. The second stamp set in the suite is called Lasting Joy, and it is where you get your sentiments. So to me, these kind of go together like peanut butter and jelly, or, you know, white on rice, like that. And that's what I've used. But the really best part of this suite, really, I think, is the Countryside Inn paper. And it's got all the pretty blues. It's got the balmy blue, the boho, the misty moonlight. Yay for misty moonlight coming back. And Night of Navy. And to be quite honest, I've used it all here. I've used all 4 of those colors. But you can kind of see the beautiful paper. I really, really, really love this paper a lot. I suspect I'll go through a few packs of it in the next year. I'm so happy that this is year-long paper. The way my luck rolls, it would be, you know, 4-month paper, and I would never get through it all with all of the other papers to try. But here you can see all of the gorgeousness that is here. How many of you are glad to see Misty Moonlight back besides me? I loved Misty Moonlight, and I'm loving it again. Hi, Lynn. Hi, Sharon. Hi, Deb. Yep, it is beautiful, beautiful paper. All right. So I'm going to set this aside for a second. All the measurements will be in the blog tomorrow. Now, I'm going to just tell you, this is a real hard case from one of the samples in the catalogs. Speaking of, they went out yesterday, and if you are expecting a catalog, you should see them, I'm going to say, by Tuesday or Wednesday at the latest. If you're not sure if you were on my list, just give me a holler, send me an email, or contact me through my blog, and I will be happy to let you know, and we can hook you up if you weren't. So this is, I'm saying it's a case, but I did put a bow and a butterfly on, so it's completely different from the one, you know, in the catalog. So it's completely different. I do want to tell you also, this still used my stitched rectangles. I've put everything away. I've pulled all the retiring things out of my stash, except this. I'm still hanging on to this until the last possible second. So if you do not have stitched rectangles, please just trust me on this and get it. You really, really want it. I only used one of the dies. It's this one, but you know, when you need the die, you need the die. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. I have some, those are to cut on. I've got these very carefully organized. It's so perfectly organized. It's just ridiculous. First, I'm going to put some of that Countryside Inn on. Wendy, I hope you'll like it after I get done with it. It's kind of fun. It's just kind of fun. All right, so I'm going to put one of these pieces of paper onto a piece of Misty Moonlight, a Misty Moonlight matte. That would be a 3M, not copyrighted. Sorry, 3M. I didn't mean to use your logo. I didn't mean it. It wasn't my fault. All right. So with that done, I'm going to pull out a piece of, I have a boho blue card base, and then on another piece of boho blue, I'm going to stamp the big Countryside Inn in boho blue ink. Now, in the good old days, I'd have said, let's use our Stamparatus for this. But in the current days of not Stamparatus, we're going to do it like this. Now, when you have one of these large stamps like this, that definitely needs to be on the largest block you own, which is a F block. I recommend that you put it on the block and then lay it on your surface to ink it like so, okay? And then you can pick it up and set it down square on your cardstock. And I'm going to use this little doohickey right here. I don't remember what it is. It's a Stampin-able. This is not a Stampin' Up thing, but it is a handy little device. Thanks, Kathy Fennel. And you can get a nice press with that. And see what a beautiful, beautiful image it makes. And I'm going to clean this right quick so I don't make a mistake, because we're going to emboss with it in just a second. And if I don't clean it, I will stamp boho blue right into my Versamark pad, and I do not want to do that. No, I do not. No. I know, it's a very, very cool tool. I had never heard of it or seen it, and then my friend Kathy sent it to me, and the rest, as they say, is history. All right, now, off screen, and I'm going to go off screen a couple of times today, okay, because when I die cut or emboss on this table, it wiggles everything. And that's not a real problem on my shorts because everything is sped up, so there's not a whole lot of it. But for this, it would make you sick to your stomach. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to use the largest of the dies and cut out this entire piece, okay? So stand by one. Stand by your man. That has nothing to do with the stamp set at all. It was what we call random association. All right. I hope this die set lasts a long time, because even if you weren't using it with the stamp set, it's really a fun set of dies, I think. Now, this is a large piece, so you're going to get a lot of coverage. Hey, Susan. Hi, Patty. There you go. I'm glad you got it, because it is quite cool. All right, so this is going to adhere down with just some liquid glue. Now, you might be tempted to use dimensionals, and you sure could, but I've got one of the textural elements on here that's a carrying over embellishment, and it is pretty darn thick. So I'm going to go ahead and just save a little thickness where I can, which means I'm using liquid glue. You could also use Stampin' Seal if you preferred, but I've got the liquid glue out, and so that's what we're going to use. Okay, I'm going to set that aside. Not going to pull out my envelope. That would be a silly thing to use. What I'm going to do now is just use another piece of basic white. Actually, it's the first piece of basic white. And I've got my gold embossing powder. And I'm going to ink and stamp this stamp again, but this time in Versamark. Okay, but first I want to locate my Stampin' Buddy. Come here, Stampin' Buddy. Oh, Stampin' Buddy, where are you? There he is. And give this a little rub, just to be sure we don't have any extra. Now, what you get when you do this is you do get, when we cut this out, hi Cindy, hi Melissa. When we cut this out, you're going to have extra pieces. So, you know, they're not unusable. Hang on to them. Put them in a little stash. I've got a little stash of die cuts in a bowl on my table. And I just keep them. You never know when you might need one. So just hang on to them until you get tired of it, and then toss it and make it again. Because you know why? It's ink and paper. All right. So we're going to stamp this on here. Like so. Come here. Very good tool. All right. And then we'll pick that up. Okay, hopefully I didn't smear that. It's a little bigger than my hand likes, but you know, we do what we got to do because we're crafters and we're tough. And we're tough that way. Hi, Angela. I appreciate you coming. First time. Yay! I hope you enjoy it and that this will not be your last time. If I do anything that just seems too weird to you, I'm sorry. It's just how we roll. All right, so this is the gold embossing powder. And just a tip, this is just a tip. Shut your embossing powder container, whatever it is. This is a high-end Ziploc container. I have another kind that we'll see a little later. It's called a Sistema. And I bought these when I was traveling so that because they click and they don't come loose. And so I felt relatively confident that it would be safe to put in my suitcase. And I'm going to say I did also put them in baggies because can you even imagine opening up your suitcase in preparation for a 30-day or a 60-day or a 90-day business trip and have embossing powder all over your suitcase? I can't even. I mean, for a 3-day trip, it would be bad enough. But if you had to start that kind of a trip like that, oh my goodness. Yay, Alice, for having your new catalog. Are you loving it? I hope you're loving it. All right, so I'm going to shut up now. You stop yakking, stop clapping, and we're going to heat emboss this. It's fixing to get loud, sorry. And when you're embossing, you do not need to, go around and do all of that stuff. Just let it set and let it start to get hot enough to be embossing, and then you will see the chemical change happen, and you'll see it start to get shiny. I feel like now we would want some music. There it goes, see? I'm just going to tell you, this is like as much chemistry as I ever really want to deal with. Well, okay, I do like the sourdough chemistry. I also like that. I have a batch of hamburger buns fermenting on the counter as we speak. Hopefully I'll be able to get those shaped and then they can go in the fridge overnight and I'll cook them tomorrow. I've got, so the hamburger buns, and then I have a loaf of bread, and I have still a whole bag of English muffins. And the English muffins, I'm just going to say, have gotten 2 thumbs up from Wayne. They work as hamburger buns, they work as sandwich buns, they're just amazing. Oh, and you can also just toast them and put butter and jelly on. Okay, there we go. Everything is pretty and shiny. I know, it is high-end. Only the most elite of us stampers can afford that. All right, so you're going to let this cool for a second. Remember, this embossing powder, when it's hot, it will still smear. So you got to give it a beat or two before you get jiggy with it. All right, now, we want this little flower border right here. So I will find the dies that embrace it. So we have this one, and then the next largest is right inside there. So I did this one at a time just so that I could be sure that everything was lined up like it should. So let me go back off screen and I will show you between the two so that you can see how it does, okay? So first I'm going to do the larger die cut to cut that piece out. And what you get is this, which actually you could put a sentiment in there and use it just like this. But now I'm going to take the next biggest die and cut out so that I get just that frame with the little flowers on it. All right? Here we go. Here we go, just walking down the street, singing do-wah-diddy-diddy-dum-diddy-do. I've had that song in my head all week, and I'm not sure why. It was something we did last week on a video that made me start thinking about singing that song. Okay, so now what we're left with is the piece we're going to use for this card and some gold embossed pieces to save for another project. So kind of handy. All you got to do is just keep cutting with the successively bigger or smaller dies and you're ready to go. Kind of fun, right? That is correct. We will not, Brenda. Well, I think some will, but I will not, because I feel like it's kind of bait and switch for you. If I say, look at how awesome this tool is. Oh yeah, you can't have it. Sorry, you can't have it. Okay, now, in, again, the interest of saving thickness because of that textural element, I'm going to adhere this with liquid glue. You could, if you weren't using anything real thick, you could put dimensionals around this and pop it up and it would be really cute. Really cute. I am really kind of liking this. I love all of the possibilities of these frames. So all I'm going to do now is I'm going to adhere it right over the top of the corresponding border on the card front. Wah. You didn't get your catalog yet? Some of them are, if you did not order one as a demonstrator, then yours is could be coming from your demonstrator and it may be coming bulk mail, which could take a minute, but it will get there, I promise. I promise. Alrighty, now the next thing we're gonna do, I'm gonna show you a little trick with the textural. Well, let's go ahead, let's get us a sentiment, shall we, since we need to do an embossing on that. So the sentiment is from the Lasting Joy set, and I'm just going to be doing birthday wishes on the outside, and we're going to emboss it in white on a piece of Misty Moonlight. And I've used my buddy again, my embossing buddy. And let's see, where are you, sentiment? That's for the inside. Here we go. Oh, I probably need some Versamark back. Here we go. All right. So we're just going to tap, tap, tap that in the Versamark and then stamp down. And this is using my higher end, even higher end embossing powder doohickey. These actually worked pretty good for traveling. They're just a little tiny a bit small, so you have to be, you know, kind of delicate. And as you know, delicate is not really my jam. So I have to think really hard about this, using these. But I do like them, obviously, since I'm still using them and I haven't been traveling for a long time. Thank you, Melanie. These are gorgeous. It's part of the new catalog. All right, we're just going to emboss in white, and this is even more fun. Watch it get shiny. Shiny. Ooh, shiny. All right, there we go. All embossed. Isn't that a pretty font? And you know what? I'm not going to kid you. I was a little concerned that it might not want to emboss well because it's so delicate and kind of swirlified, but it really looks pretty. Isn't that nice? Okay, so out comes the bestest die set on the planet. Stitched rectangles. We're going to use this little standalone guy. That's what I call him on my blog, is the standalone guy, because when you put him on a card, everything nests except that one. Okay, so this is standalone guy. I'll be right back. I'm cutting him out. And then I promise I'm done with getting off screen. I promise. I'll be on screen the whole time from here forward. And be like, oh great, Mary, that's awesome. Because that's what we want, Mary, is you on screen all the time. I know you like looking at my hands. All right, here we go. And did you notice that I spent a little time talking right there so that my embossing powder would cool? In case you didn't notice, I did, and it was totally on purpose. Okay, here we go. All right, now, let me show you what we're going to do here. Here's our card front, and I have a textural element. Now, I want that textural element like this. I'm going to put this guy like that, but I want about that much above, but I still want the tail down here. Let me show you a little trick. Take your scissors and carefully, don't get too head up, snip that off like that. All right, and then we're going to use a little bit of liquid glue to adhere this. You don't need very much. These little guys are pretty cooperative, okay? And we're going to adhere him in place where we want him, right there, like that right there. Okay, now, before we get any further, I'm gonna make me a little bow from some crumb cake baker's twine. This is from the Baker's Twine Essentials, and it is carrying over. Yay! Yay, yay. Okay. So this is just a simple, simple bow. And then I'm going to take a glue dot You know, an interesting factoid. I'm going to tell you an interesting factoid. My friend Kathy Fennell, who is also on my team, and I have known her for a very long time because she started as a customer, she sent me this cute little, well, she sent me a tweezers and a tweezers charm for my birthday one year. And she is also the source of my Stampendable. Thank you, Kathy. 2 things I use all the time. Now, I'm taking my glue dot and I'm sticking it on the cardstock right below my cut stem. And that is what I'm using to adhere my bow. So what I've done is I have not increased any thickness there. Can you see that? All right, so now I only need single, see, you knew I'd get a dimensional in here somewhere, right? I mean, come on, man. Come on, man. I'm gonna stick these dimensionals to the card front, not to the sentiment, because I am still going over stuff and I wanna be sure that I'm not getting myself in the way. So occasionally when you're putting these on, just stick your sentiment over to see where you want to put your dimensionals. All right, and that looks good. So we're gonna stick those on, removing the covers. And I'm gonna make this straight and then use my calibrated Mark 1 eyeball. There we go, to put that on. Okay, now, ready for the magic? Are we ready for the magic? Yes, Mary, we are ready for the magic. Make the magic happen, Mary. All right, you can see this little piece that I cut off. Here's the little sweepy down that's at the top, right? So we're gonna stick it inside. I'm gonna put just a little bitty dab, hang on, of liquid glue. You know, I'm getting to where this is terrible. I'm gonna have to start wearing, I don't know what I'm gonna have to wear. Like, I don't know, crafty glasses or something, I don't know. Because my progressives are too much and nothing is obviously not enough, because right there we go. I finally got some glue on there, thank goodness. I was like, is it coming out? I cannot even see it, okay? So then you kind of project where that stem is and just tuck this right under there like that. And bing, bada boom, all of a sudden you have a much longer textural element. That is how you make this long of an element become that long of an element. Cool, right? Isn't that so cool? And I even swooped it a little bit because I noticed that this was supposed to be a little swoopier. Now it's swoopy. Cool. Now, to make it even more unique from the sample in the catalog, I am taking 1 each brass butterfly, brushed. That's how the military would say it. Butterfly, comma, brushed brass. Or brass butterfly, comma, brushed, 1 each. And I'm putting it right here on the sentiment, like that, okay? And we will set him aside. Let's go ahead and do some innards for a second before we get too much further down the road. Now, I have, from the Lasting Joy set, you get some flowers and leaves. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna stamp this image right here a couple of times in Crumb Cake, and then this image right here a couple of times in Boho Blue on our basic white panel, okay? I know, I'm gonna have to do something because it's getting to where I can't get far enough away from my hands when I'm doing a video, which is very sad, I think. I mean, to me, that is quite sad. It's time for me to acknowledge that I need some seeing help. Okay, so we're gonna just do a couple down here like this. And I may need that again, so I'll hang on to it, set it aside, pull out my Boho Blue. And where are you, flowers? Here we go. Here's our flowers. And it goes like, be sure I got enough on there. You can kind of see through it, like so. Actually, you can totally see through it. Like that. And then, because, you know, I can't leave well enough alone. Oop. There we go. And we'll put another one down here like that. Oh, and what the heck? Let's just put some right in here too. Okay, perfect. Did you see how I patted myself on the back? Perfect. Okay. And then let's see if we can get a little bitty bit of these in here. I mean, you know, you don't have to do all this if you don't want to, but it's kind of fun. It's kind of fun. I think it's fun. It's fun to me. Okay, so there we go. Let's go ahead and do that on our envelope just because we've got it all out right now. I know the boho blue is beautiful, and I won't kid you, I was a little concerned about it because of the color of the little baby boho, which is cute, but it seemed kind of like flat, and I think it's because it's plastic. That's what I think. Now, all y'all demonstrators, you know that right now you can order the boho, the baby boho, if you want it. And for customers, if we've got any left when we get done, when the pre-order time ends, then you'll be able to buy it too, just outright, which will be fun if you are interested in it. All right, some more boho blue flowers and flowers. And aren't those so pretty? Does this not remind you, you guys, we used to have Delft plates in our kitchen. And this reminds me of those, although I don't think they had crumb cake, but that's okay. I'm just going to put one right there, and then one right there, and then a couple right there. And we'll get our crumb cake out to finish these off. Oh, you got a boho for Christmas. Perfect. Now that is a good Christmas present for sure. These little guys come along the line of, do you really need them? And I think, yes, I think you do. All right, there we go. I know, I now have, I don't even know, I have 2 minis. I have a new Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. I have an old Big Shot. I have a really, really old Sizzix cutter, so that means I've got, what, 5 cutters? Turns out I can only cut with one at a time, but that's, you know, you never know when you might have an emergency. Hey, Deborah, appreciate you coming. All right, country blue, yes. All right, and I'm going to put a little bit of this on here. Now, what do you guys think? I'm going to let you vote here. Do you want me to put the navy side up, or should I go with the flowers? I will wait a moment while you all vote. And while I wait for you to vote, I'm going to get a little sip of my classic lemonade ice. Flowers up. We have 1 vote for flowers. 2. Oh, it's flowers by a mile. Alrighty then. Here we go. The flowers have it. And we'll do the world's easiest fussy cut here. But always take the time to practice your skills when you're doing this. Remember to cut up against the fulcrum of the paper, of the scissors, and to turn the paper with your holding hand. Don't turn the scissors. All right, so that's done. We'll just adhere this to our Misty Moonlight mat and into our card base. And we will be, oh, and then I guess we should put the card front on. Yeah, hello. Be kind of a weird card with, I mean, I've heard of blank cards, but that would be way weird. What's wrong with your card? Nothing. Everything's on the inside, of course. Silly. Oh, thank you, Deborah. Here we go. Boho blue mat. Nope. Misty Moonlight mat. Boho blue card base. There we go. You may notice, if you're paying attention and you watch my cards, my card front and inner liner are a little bit bigger than usual, and I will tell you why. Tell me why. Okay, the reason is because this little die cut dude, if you go with a 3 7/8 by 5 1/8 DSP, it is so close. It's just too close. So I just made it bigger. Yeah, I did. I did. Let's see. Let me put this away. Hey, Amanda. Yep, we are almost, in fact, almost done. I'm sorry. I hope you'll be able to watch the replay. This is such a beautiful suite. It's the Countryside Inn suite. Y'all be able to get it on the 2nd of May. Or, oh, you knew I'd have an or, right? You could join Stampin' Up! Right now and you could put any of these pre-order items in your starter kit. So you'd pay $99. You can pick $125 worth of pre-order or anything, really. It doesn't have to be pre-order. It can be from the outgoing catalogs. And then you can make another purchase right away once you get your Stampin' ID. You can make another purchase and fill all the rest, get all those new colors and new papers, new stamp bundles, new Stampin' Write markers, new Stampin' blends, all the beautiful things with a 20% discount. Yeah, I'm not seeing a downside, just saying. All right, so that is now popped on with Stampin' Dimensionals. And there we have Countryside in a beautiful birthday card, whose second envelope I have now lost. I don't know where it is. It's here somewhere. I'll find it eventually. There we go. I hope you like it, y'all, and I hope you are excited to get this suite and all of the other beautiful suites in the 23-24 catalog. Have a most wonderful Easter. Remember the reason we have Easter, and be grateful for it. Y'all have a great one. Thanks so much, everybody. See you next week. Bye-bye.